The story was about a girl named Sophia who worked as an ocean researcher. That day, she was researching the problems in marine life caused by garbage collecting in the Pacific Ocean. She was with her husband and her team. While they were working, one of her teammates informed her that they had received a signal from the sea. Hearing this, everyone started preparing to dive underwater. Sophia and another teammate named Jade stayed back on the ship while the rest of the team went into the sea. Sophia started guiding them by watching everything on the monitor. As Chris, one of the divers, moved forward, he came across a baby blue whale. Unfortunately, the whale had died after getting stuck in a fishing net. But the strange thing was that half of the whale's body was missing. When Chris looked closely, he noticed large teeth marks on the whale's body, which seemed to be from a very big creature. Sophia then realized that the signal they were tracking was actually coming from a tracker attached to a shark named Lilith. This shark seemed to be moving towards them. At the same time, many sharks started swimming near Chris. Seeing this, Sophia warned him to be careful. Suddenly, Lilith swam past Chris, and everyone was shocked to see her. Chris asked Sophia if this was the same shark they were tracking. Sophia replied, sounding surprised, that it was indeed Lilith. But she couldn't believe it because just 3 months ago, Lilith was only about 2.5 meters long. As soon as Chris noticed the tracker on the shark, he realized that it was Lilith. But now, Lilith had grown to almost 10 meters long. Seeing her huge size, Chris felt that he should leave the water quickly. But Sophia had a different idea. She asked Chris to take a sample from Lilith because she wanted to find out how the shark had grown so big in such a short time. When Chris managed to inject Lilith to collect the sample, the shark quickly swam away. Luckily, they got the sample they needed, so Chris and his team started to come out of the sea. But before they could leave, Lilith returned at great speed and began attacking them. She started killing them one by one. Watching everything on the monitor, Sophia became terrified. Without thinking much, she jumped into the water to save her team. But as she went a little deeper, she found Chris's severed hand floating in the water. Seeing this, she got even more scared and tried to swim back up to the boat as fast as she could. Before she could reach the surface, Lilith appeared in front of her and attacked. Sophia somehow managed to escape the first attack, but she and Lilith got tangled in a fishing net and started sinking deeper into the sea. The water pressure became so high that blood started coming out of Sophia's ears. Still, she didn't give up. She struggled hard, cut the net, and somehow managed to swim back up to the surface. The story then jumped ahead by 3 years. Now, in Paris, 2 boys were searching for valuable things in the Seine River using a magnet. They were sure they would find something useful. Suddenly, their magnet became very heavy. When they pulled it out, they were shocked to see what they had found. It was a missile lying at the bottom of the river. Seeing this, the boys became frightened and quickly informed the police. Soon, the police arrived and started investigating the situation. One of the officers, named Adil, told the reporters that there was nothing to worry about. So far, more than 100 bombs and missiles had been found in that river. When a reporter asked Officer Adil how so many bombs ended up in Paris, Adil explained that these were from World War II. Over time, they had floated down the river and collected there. But he reassured everyone that there was nothing to worry about because all the bombs and missiles had been safely destroyed. After this, the story shifted back to Sophia. She had completely stopped researching sharks. Now, she spent her time teaching children about marine life and its importance. One day, while she was explaining things to a group of kids, a naughty child made fun of her. The boy pointed out that her entire team had died while doing this kind of work, and yet she was still giving lectures about it. Hearing this, Sophia became upset and quietly left the class. She went straight to her home. But on the way, a girl named Mika stopped her. Sophia didn't pay attention and tried to ignore her. But then Mika mentioned Beacon 7. Hearing this name, Sophia was shocked. Beacon 7 was the name of the tracker she had once put on Lilith. Curious and confused, Sophia agreed to follow Mika. Mika took her to her organization where research on sharks was still going on. There, Mika told her that Sophia was the role model for everyone in their team. It was because of Sophia's past research that they had been able to make so much progress. Then Mika showed Sophia something surprising, the current location of Lilith. The shark had now reached the Seine River. At first, Sophia didn't believe what Mika was saying. According to her, Lilith couldn't survive in freshwater like the Seine River. But Mika explained that due to climate change, Lilith had probably ended up there. She said they needed to send Lilith back to the sea as soon as possible, or else the shark would die in the freshwater. Mika asked Sophia to help her with this mission, but Sophia refused and went back home. Later at home, Sophia opened her laptop and started watching the old video clips where Lilith had attacked her team. Seeing the videos, she became very emotional. But when she checked Lilith's latest location on the tracker, she was shocked. Lilith really had reached the Seine River. Now that Lilith had become a danger to the people of Paris, Sophia decided to catch her. Meanwhile, Mika and another teammate named Ben were tracking Lilith's location. They reached the Seine River. When Mika dived into the water, she found a car that had recently crashed there. The car had bite marks from a very large animal. Up on the surface, Ben noticed that the police had arrived. Fearing trouble, he started pulling Mika's safety rope to bring her back up, but Mika removed the rope and stayed underwater. Scared of being caught, Ben ran away. After a short while, Mika came to the surface and was caught by the police. They started taking her for questioning. At the same time, Sophia, who was tracking Lilith's location, also reached the riverbank. She saw the police taking Mika away. On the other side, Officer Adil took a boat to a place called Angels, where his friend Edward Edward was waiting for him. Adil gave him some equipment and then left for the police station. By the time Sophia reached that place, nobody was there, but Edward's dog kept barking towards the river as if something strange had happened there. Sophia found it odd and sensed that something bad might have occurred. Feeling uneasy, she went back home. The next morning, Adil started questioning Mika at the police station. He asked her what she was doing at the river. Mika replied that there was a deadly shark in the Seine River, but Adil didn't believe Mika's story about the shark. Meanwhile, Sophia kept tracking Lilith's movements. Suddenly, she received a call from Adil. When she reached his location, she found out that Mika had asked him to call her. At the riverbank, Adil showed her Edward's body. Half of his body was missing. Adil asked Sophia if this was the work of a shark. After examining the wounds, Sophia confirmed that Lilith was responsible for the attack. The scene then shifted to Adil's office, where Adil introduced both Mika and Sophia to the police chief. Mika explained to them that there was a dangerous shark in the river, but just like others, the police chief didn't believe her. He thought Edward had died because he got caught in the blades of a boat. The police chief told Adil to bring proof of the shark's presence. Following the order, Adil formed a team to investigate. He took Sophia along with him because she had Lilith's location on her tracker. Together, they headed towards the spot where the signal was coming from. Unnoticed by them, Mika also followed behind. When they reached the location, Adil sent his team into the river. Sophia and Adil stayed above, guiding the divers. Meanwhile, Mika feared that if the police found the shark, they would kill it to protect the people. To stop that from happening, she quickly called her friend Ben and asked him to disconnect Lilith's tracker. But Ben warned her that if they disconnected the tracker now, it would be impossible to reconnect it later. But still, because Mika kept insisting, Ben finally disconnected the tracker from Lilith. As a result, when the police team reached the shark's location, they suddenly stopped receiving the tracking signal. Even Sophia couldn't understand how the signal had disappeared. But soon, she started feeling that a very large creature was nearby in the water. Sensing danger, Adil quickly ordered his team to come back to the boat before Lilith could attack. Thankfully, the whole team returned safely, but everyone was extremely scared. They were now sure that something big and dangerous was swimming in the river. One of the team members suggested that Adil check the sonar device. When Adil looked at the sonar, he was shocked. The screen showed that a 20-meter-long shark was moving through the river. Adil became suspicious of Sophia. He thought she had turned off the tracker on purpose. In anger, he pushed Sophia and asked her to leave. After this, Sophia went straight to Mika's office. She was very angry and started blaming Mika for disconnecting the tracker. Mika replied that Sophia only wanted to kill the shark, but Sophia explained that Lilith didn't see anyone as her friend. She said that even 3 years ago, she had tried to help Lilith, but everyone knew how badly it ended. Mika argued back, saying that it was Sophia's fault for going near the shark at that time. Hearing this, Sophia got even angrier and left the place. Afterwards, Mika began making a plan to save Lilith. An idea came to her mind. She recorded a video message asking people like her to help save the shark. She warned that if they didn't act soon, the police would kill Lilith. She also gave them a location where they could gather to help. Then she uploaded the video on the internet. Meanwhile, Adil explained the situation to the police chief and suggested that the river should be closed for public safety. But the chief told him that the mayor wouldn't allow that. There was a big event, the triathlon, planned in just 1 week, and the mayor wouldn't want it cancelled. Still, Adil decided they would meet the mayor the next day to discuss the matter. That night, Adil went home and started watching Sophia's old videos. Through those videos, he learned about the tragic incident where Sophia's team and her husband had been killed by Lilith. After seeing everything, Adil realized he had misjudged her. The next day, Adil went to Sophia's aquarium. He apologized to her for his behavior and asked her to come with him to the meeting with the mayor. Sophia agreed. Together, they went to the mayor's office. There, the police chief informed the mayor about the dangerous shark in the Seine River. But the mayor didn't take it seriously. She said that the triathlon championship was happening in a few days. Reporters from all over the world would come to cover the event, and thousands of people had already registered to participate. The mayor made it clear that she wouldn't cancel the event because it had a billion-dollar budget. Instead, she ordered them to do something quickly to get the shark out of the river. Adil then asked Sophia if she had any plan. Sophia explained that they would trap the shark, make it unconscious, and then transport it safely back to the sea. Everyone agreed, and they immediately started working on the plan. Meanwhile, Ben, looking very worried, came to meet them. She told everyone that Mika had gone out of control. Mika's new plan was to send Lilith back to the sea with the help of other social workers using sonar signals. Ben also mentioned that Mika had reactivated Lilith's tracker. Through this, Mika had found Lilith's exact location. She and the others were planning to gather at that spot. That place was called the Catacombs, the underground sewer system of Paris. The Catacombs were an ancient underground system, built even before the city of Paris itself. Adil told Ben to go back and promised that he would definitely come to help. Soon, Adil and his team reached the location, but the path ahead was very narrow, so they left their vehicles and started walking through the water on foot. Meanwhile, Mika had already arrived there with the other social workers. She took the sonar device and entered the water, hoping that the sound waves would guide Lilith back towards the sea. Just then, Adil and his team arrived and shouted for everyone to leave the area immediately. But Mika stayed in the water. Suddenly, Lilith appeared in front of Mika. The shark had grown even bigger than before. Seeing her size, everyone became frightened. At that moment, something unexpected happened. Lilith's baby shark also came close to Mika. Mika lovingly reached out and started touching the baby shark. Sophia warned Mika to stop, telling her that Lilith might feel threatened and react badly. But Mika didn't listen. Lilith got angry and disappeared into the water for a moment. Then, in a sudden and violent attack, Lilith charged at Mika and killed her before Adil could reach her to help. Seeing this, panic broke out among the people. The police officers tried their best to save as many lives as possible, but despite their efforts, many people and some police officers were attacked and killed by the shark. In the chaos, Ben was also killed by one of the sharks. Adil started firing at the shark to control the situation and scare it away. After getting hit, the shark swam away from the area. The survivors were taken to the hospital for treatment, but after seeing so many people die, Sophia went into shock. Adil later came to comfort her. He told her that it wasn't her fault because all she ever wanted was to help. While Sophia was still in shock, an officer came and informed Adil about something important. After hearing the news, Adil and his team quickly returned to the place where the baby shark had been found. Sadly, the baby shark had died because of the bullets fired during the earlier chaos. They brought the dead baby shark to the lab, where Sophia started examining it. During her research, she discovered something shocking. The shark had adapted to survive in freshwater. When Sophia cut open the shark's belly, she was even more shocked to see many tiny baby sharks inside. This was surprising because the dead shark was only 2 months old. Sophia then realized that the sharks were reproducing through a process called parthenogenesis. This meant they didn't need a male partner to produce babies. Sophia explained to Adil that Lilith had now become the start of an entirely new generation of sharks, and she was multiplying rapidly. Sophia warned Adil that if they didn't act fast and stop Lilith, these sharks would one day destroy them all. Adil was stunned after hearing this. In the next scene, Sophia presented all this information to the mayor and even the president. She strongly requested them to cancel the upcoming event, but the mayor refused. Instead, she started blaming Sophia for the recent deaths, saying it was her fault. Hearing this, Sophia became very angry and started shouting at the mayor. But the mayor, furious, ordered her to leave and threw her out of the meeting. Afterwards, the mayor told Adil that the army would now handle the situation and he didn't need to get involved anymore. But despite this order, Adil and Sophia secretly made their own plan. Adil gathered his team and told them that to save their city, they had no choice but to kill all the sharks. His team agreed to help him, but there were only a few hours left before the event was about to start. Adil's plan was to blow up the catacombs using bombs. This way, all the sharks hiding and breeding there would be killed. For this mission, Adil divided his team into 2 groups. One group would carry the bombs inside the catacombs, while the second group would wait outside on the boat. Once the bombs were activated, they would have only 3 minutes to escape. The whole team prepared themselves and set off on the mission. Meanwhile, at the river, the triathlon event was about to start. The army had taken full control of the area for security. The mayor arrived and started giving a motivational speech to cheer up the crowd. At the mayor's signal, all the participants jumped into the water, unaware of the danger lurking below. On the other side, Adil and his team had reached the catacombs. This was where Lilith had made her breeding ground. Sophia carried a special device that could keep sharks away from her for some time. But once inside, Sophia sensed something strange. Lilith was missing. Even though she felt uneasy, they didn't stop. They quickly planted the bombs at 2 different spots inside the catacombs. Now, they had only 3 minutes left before the bombs exploded. Suddenly, one of the officers was attacked by a shark. Within seconds, other sharks joined and tore him to pieces. The rest of the team quickly grouped together in fear. Adil lit a flare to see what they were dealing with. What they saw shocked everyone. The number of sharks swimming around them was in the thousands. To make matters worse, the officer who had been attacked was carrying the trigger device for the bombs. One brave officer rushed forward, grabbed the trigger, and quickly pressed the button to activate the bombs. But before he could return to safety, the sharks attacked him too, tearing him apart. Now, only a few seconds remained before the bombs were set to explode. As the countdown ended, Sophia quickly grabbed Adil and started pulling him out of the catacombs. The explosion happened just as they were escaping. Adil got injured in the blast, but Sophia managed to bring him out safely. Sophia then took Adil onto the boat and went back to check if anyone else had survived the blast. But as soon as she reached the site, something terrifying happened. Lilith tore through the destroyed area and emerged from the water. Sophia was terrified. Lilith was furious because her babies had been killed in the explosion. In her anger, Lilith attacked the boat where the other team members were. She flipped the boat over. Sophia quickly rushed to help them, but before she could reach, Lilith attacked and killed the 2 team members. Sophia grabbed Adil and swam towards the overturned boat to save themselves. After that, Lilith broke through the protective safety net that had been set up to block her path. She started moving towards the swimmers who were participating in the triathlon event. Lilith began attacking the swimmers one by one. The crowd froze in shock, unable to understand what was happening. Suddenly, Lilith attacked one swimmer with full force, turning the river water red with blood. Seeing this, the other swimmers panicked and started screaming. Chaos spread everywhere. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the army commander rushed to the riverbank with his troops and immediately opened fire on Lilith. But seeing the army firing at Lilith, Adil quickly warned them to stop. He told the commander that many bombs and missiles from World War II were still lying at the bottom of the river, and they were still active. But the army commander didn't listen to him. The soldiers kept firing at Lilith. Hit by the bullets, Lilith swam away from the area. Unfortunately, during the shooting, one of the old bombshells floated up from the riverbed. It fell back down and exploded. The blast scared everyone nearby, and because of that first explosion, the other bombs also started going off one by one. The chain of explosions was so powerful that it created a huge tsunami inside the river. The strong waves swept everyone away. Within moments, the entire city of Paris was underwater. After a few hours, Sophia found Adil lying injured and in very bad condition. Somehow, she managed to take him to the top of a building. When Adil regained consciousness, both of them looked around. What they saw was horrifying. Thousands of baby sharks were swimming all around the flooded city, and among them, they also saw Lilith. Sophia and Adil understood the terrible truth. Lilith had created many breeding grounds in different places. Now, Paris was completely underwater, and sharks were everywhere. And with this shocking mystery, the story ended. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video. And if you love such thrilling stories, quickly subscribe to the channel.